how to bring tranquility with your powers and things of that nature. What other type of themes can you see in the show that audiences maybe can notice or is important to how the show progresses and evolves?
Yeah, there's a very well-loved episode where in the sports festival, Deku and Todoroki are fighting. You remember that one? Yeah.
I think they do. Maybe.
Right. So that has always really touched me very deeply because the theme, the overwhelming theme there is that where you are, where you come from, and the circumstances that you are raised with don't determine the kind of person you are. And it shows in Todoroki's quirk. It's entirely his own, and how he makes use of it and to what extent he makes use of it is up to him and no one else. And he struggles with, I think, the weight of those expectations sometimes. And so that episode is watching him become more free and more sure of his power and his own personal strength and not kind of having to be beholden to those who came before him. So I just think that's really special. Like for folks growing up and watching that you are your own person, you are entirely individual, and you determine the kind of person that you get to be. I think that's really amazing.
It's a theme that's revisited in the show a lot, but for me it definitely stands out in the Stain arc. The theme being that the line between right and wrong is not always obvious. And I think that was a really hard arc to be in. I loved my character so much, and I loved Tinya. Like, he's me. So I have very complex feelings about him, but I would wrap it up and say I love him. Watching him go through that and make those choices, there was this moment, where he had to literally, the only way he could, in his mind, because his worldview is so regimented, this is right, this is wrong, these are the rules, these are not the rules. In that moment, the only way that he could honor his brother was by betraying everything his brother stood for. And that was such a difficult thing that he found himself in that position, and he paid a very high price for it. Thank God he had friends who he could trust to not listen to him. So that was wonderful, wonderful theme.
Yeah, I mean, I'm listening to you guys talk, and what's going through my head, I'm remembering the Yaoyorozu and Todoroki, they were team up together, and watching the two different things that were happening there. Number one, Yaoyorozu kind of discovering her own self-worth. Of course, she's awesome, and we all know that, but her discovering that about herself was incredible. But then additionally to that, and just as touching to me, was watching Todoroki also begin to see that and how it was that sometimes he can allow himself to overstep, Endeavor style. And, and so watching both of these developments, but this relationship even between the kids, as it were, but between men and women is kind of in that particular theme of how it is you can there's a better way to approach things. There's a different way, and sometimes it's not the way that the previous generation might have eased into it. So yeah, I mean, it just this whole story just, I mean, it's this huge onion. Yeah, keep peeling. I love these characters. Come on. Layers.
I'm sorry, I was entranced by that. What was the question one more time?
What themes do you see within the show that the audience should know or look forward to in knowing the evolution and progression of the series?
In season 4, we see everybody really grow up. It even reflects in the voices, and I think in that way it's nice to see the series mature like that, like an actual timeline of a human. We kind of grow up with these kids, and they're like our kids, and that's very special. But a good theme is to know your limits. Definitely, you can definitely push, but don't end up All Might completely injuring yourself. I mean, if it just turns out that you have to save somebody else, there's nothing you can do, but definitely take care of yourself and know when it's time to, rest. Because in voice acting, if we can draw this parallel, if we scream for 8 hours, we should probably not talk for the rest of the day, the next day. Otherwise, we'll sound like this for the next session. So,
and we also cough blood.
Yeah, and that's what ninjas are for. So just, knowing when it's time to take care of you and keeping that balance between giving and staying.
This is that con public service announcement where we remind you to all take a shower at some point with their I love you.
Stay hydrated.
And it's Los Angeles, drink water.
Right?
There's a fire. There's haze in the air, you gotta drink water.
All of these answers are therapeutic and needed. Thank you. Let's talk about quirks for a minute.
Okay.
I think that is one of the most fun aspects of the whole series. So I was just wondering if there is any quirk that you could pick, either a character that your character doesn't have it, or if you would just want one in real life. What is your favorite and why?
Well, in the risk of getting away from the serious answers that we've been having, I'm stealing one of these. I love this. Brittany Karbowski came up with this one, and I use it for the rest of the year. But I would like the quirk to be able to throw a fart at somebody. They won't know who it's coming from, but they'll know it came.
She did that. She said that at our panel too. She's like, yeah, if there's a fighter jet up there, you can just fill that cockpit full of fart and then
That's the quirk.
I just want to comment on what a treat it's been to watch this person interpret everything.
What is fart? Can you show us fart?
Of course it is.
So expressive.
I'm remembering this.
Perfect. I remember that. That's the quirk. That's how you do it. I think I want that quirk too, but I think the answer I often give is I would love the quirk of never saying the wrong thing.
Oh my goodness.
Which is not the same as always saying the right thing. I'd like the creative room to decide what that is for myself, but I would love to just know when to shut my mouth. That's a quirk I could use.
I would like the ability to, whenever I eat something or taste something, I know exactly the ingredients and the measurements that go into it, so I can recreate it. So many times I have something, just food that's stunning, and I'm like, well, enjoy it now.
My go-to is always electrokinesis, just because there are so many things you can do with it. You can thoughts are just electric signals, so you can make people think different things with electrokinesis if you have it honed enough. So yeah, I'll go for that since I can't come up with anything funny.
So before, I believe we have a little bit of time to open up a couple of questions for the audience, and I'm sure you can't say much, but I know there's a new movie coming out, and there's lots of new things. So I know you can't give spoilers or anything, but what should the audience look forward to with this new film, if you can? That's non-spoilers.
Let me preface this by saying I don't know anything. But if I had to guess, if you saw the first movie, it seemed like they really didn't hold back. So I imagine, what I did hear actually is that the author, Horikoshi-sensei, used part of what was planned for the end of the series in the movie. So he's taken a bit of that, and it's going to be some kind of pivotal story beat there, and he was worried, because now he's like, well, now what do I do at the end? We'll see. So that should be exciting.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'll be right there with you going,
Sweet.
what happens next?
Okay. That's
I can tell you that as far as like being a fan of this series, there is no better time than right now. The amount of things that are starting to converge and come on. I mean, you've got the 4th season that's premiering both in Japan and here yesterday. That's generally unprecedented. That doesn't happen very often. So I mean, the fact that that's caught up with each other, that there's a new movie coming up. I mean, I'm telling you, right now, there's no better time to be a fan. So if you know anybody, now's the time to get them involved and have them start binging episodes, in my opinion.
I did my research. A trailer just came out in Japan, and I personally am excited for a person who is coming who has wings.
I'll take it. I think we literally have time for one question and then we're out of time.
Best question.
Right there, yes. Let's see, do we have a mic? No, you might have to just... Yes, hi, yes.
What is our favorite
What's your
part
favorite
about
part about voicing the characters? Yes.
About what? Tuffy. Yeah.
Honestly, it's coming out and seeing you guys. Like, I'm not just saying that. Like, seeing how many people like what we do is surreal. So, what's that? You guys are sick. What you need is a cure.
You know what? I think my favorite part about voicing Kirishima is just trying to catch that energy that he's got. I really just love that. Everything for Kirishima seems just, he's excited to be a part of it. This is awesome, kind of a thing. So, yeah, and being here kind of makes me feel the same thing. What's that? That's right, he is. What's that? I know, right? Yeah, it feels like I'm looking in a mirror.
I'm with Kellen. I think the best thing about any gig we get to do as voice actors is the fans. I mean, because it really is all about you guys, and it's so wonderful. We so often in our careers get to work on shows that we love, but that maybe don't hit as big as we wish. So it is such an honor and a privilege to be in a show that both we love and speaks to us as individuals, as actors, and as an audience in our own right, and also that we get to share this love with so many of you who support us. Thank you. This wouldn't happen without you guys. I mean, I like to say this, and it's actually true. Without you guys, we're just weirdos in a booth making funny voices. So thank you. It's very validating to know that you guys love it as much as we do, and more so. So thank you. It's my favorite part of it.
Yeah, gosh, you all are amazing. I love telling this story that means so much to everybody. I love how everyone who engages with it is so kind and considerate and thoughtful, and it breeds such a uplifting and inspiring sort of viewership. And it's incredible. Like, this is incredible. So thank you all. It's amazing to be a part of this.
Well, I just want to say thank you guys for coming up here and talking with all of us about